Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Kiyora Jin ended up working alongside Kaiser? What would happen with him on the field? How would this affect Isagi and the rest of the story? Continue watching this video to find out. We were first introduced to Jin Kiyora during the end of the second selection, being ranked as 21st at the time. But before we dive deeper into how his character may affect the story, let us first take a closer look into his character. The truth is that we do not know much about Jin Kiyora, as we have not even seen him play yet, especially since his spotlight got taken away by Hiyori during the match between Bastard Munchen and the Ubers. However, we have been given access to his stats recently, which would give us an idea of how he likes to play and who he really is. Now, let's compare Jin to some of the other players in Blue Lock to get a better idea of how good he is. In comparison to Ness, it seems like Ness is still a better right-hand man for Kaiser when it comes to feeding him, as he is miles ahead when it comes to his offense, dribbling, and passing. However, this doesn't mean that Jin is terrible in these aspects, as he still holds an A grade bearing at least an 80 in these skills. And who knows, his stats may even increase during the match against PXG. Jin Kiyora, however, does have a better shot, which might allow him to be a decent decoy for Kaiser to use. Now, in comparison to Isagi, he's just better at pretty much everything except for his overall offense. We all know that Isagi isn't really physically gifted compared to the others, but his mentality and way of seeing the game puts him above the rest. Isagi even recognized Jin Kiyora's talent and skills before begging to let Hiyori in the game. He even says that his skills are near the top of the team, and he would be a great fit for Corona's role. So based on this, we know that he has the potential to become a great player. I would guess that he could have a mixed playstyle between Yukimiya and Corona, acting as a support and creating plays for himself as well. Jin Kiyora has some pretty decent stats, considering that he hasn't gotten any playing time yet in the NEL arc or any screen time at all. His stats show that he can be an all-rounder similar to Reo. It would be pretty exciting to see Kiyora's versatility on the field and how he can prove Isagi wrong. He has to be someone worth looking out for, as he ended up being highlighted on the same page with demons such as Baro, Shido, and Rin. This would then lead me to our next topic. If you're enjoying this video so far, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to let me know that you want more videos just like this. There are tons of people who thought that Jin Kiyora would become Isagi's missing piece and team up with him in order to create a whole solar system alongside Corona and Hiyori. However, it doesn't really look likely as of now. Back in chapter 230, both Master Strikers and Noah and Snuffy have to leave the field and get subbed in for a different player. Sendo subs in for Snuffy, while Noah was initially supposed to get substituted by Corona. It seems like Corona isn't physically ready to play the rest of the game. So Noah decided to fumble again and not allow Igarashi to play. Instead, he chose to let in Jin Kiyora, but was then immediately stopped by Isagi, as he believed that substituting him in was not the best idea despite how good of a player he is. He said that the team needed something new in order for him to score a goal and succeed in this match. He wanted Hiyori to be subbed in, but Noah obviously didn't like the idea since Kiyora had better stats and numbers. But eventually, Noah gave in and allowed the lovebirds to play together. Now, how do you think this made Jin Kiyora feel? This should give him fuel in proving both Isagi and Noah wrong about the decision. Now, with Kaiser losing the spotlight, we know that he isn't just going to back down, especially after what Isagi just did. He plans on creating an even better play to take back the crown as the king of Bastard Munchen. However, I do not think that he will be able to do that with the help of Ness solely. This would create an opportunity for Jin Kiyora to come in during the match against PXG to prove his worth and show why his numbers are the way that they are. In chapter 231, they confirmed that Kiyora would end up playing eventually, which would be against PXG. Noah says to Kiyora that he will end up playing, but until that time comes, he shouldn't let his blade rust and stay ready. We also know that Kaiser is known as God's chosen emperor, with Ness as a shield. He would then not be complete without his sword, who would be Jin Kiyora. Based on Kiyora's official stats that was released recently, his motto is to sharpen your blade and prepare for battle, which would symbolize him as Kaiser's sword in the next match. With him teaming up with Kaiser, who knows what's about to happen? We have no idea how Kiyora likes to play, but it would be safe to assume that he has some crazy untapped potential that could be shown with Kaiser by his side. Kaiser is about to make him the main supporting actor in his story. Next up, we have another theory that might still possibly happen in the next match. Kiyora Jin can possibly team up with Kunigami against PXG and create a three-way duo battle between Isagi and Hiyori, Kaiser and Ness, and both Kunigami and Jin Kiyora. Kunigami has chosen to work to become better by himself instead of training with other players in Bastard München, but there still might be a chance wherein teaming up with Jin Kiyora is an exception. There might be a way somehow wherein Kiyora can be useful for Kunigami to become the player he wants to be. Although this situation is not impossible, I personally think that this duo would not end up happening since it would downplay Kunigami's development into the person he is now. He has gotten so far on his own and he plans on leaving Bluelock alone as well after proving Shido wrong by beating him. I doubt that Kunigami would end up teaming up with someone who he doesn't know and hasn't even played the game in the NEL. However, I do think that there's a huge chance that Kunigami goes back to his old self after possibly realizing that he still can't beat Shido with the way he is now. Instead, it might be an internal trio battle between Kaiser, Ness, and Kiyora against Isagi, Corona, and Hiyori. This way, both Kaiser and Isagi would have various options who can support him, which can lead to some creative sequences in the next match, wherein I am sure will not be easy to overcome, especially with duos alone. Some insane team chemistry is going to be needed to let these two superstars shine. Aside from this, we are going to see an insane individual battle and performance between Kunigami and Shido. With Jin Kiyora finally being prepared to make his debut in Bluelock, the question is if he is going to stay relevant after the match against PXG. As the Emperor's Blade, he should be a crucial piece for Kaiser to crush Isagi. However, we should remember that this is Isagi's world and that they're both just going to end up getting clowned unless Jin Kiyora decides to team up with Isagi despite what happened. This actually might still be possible as well since it didn't seem like he was upset about the decision. However, I do see him trying to prove Isagi wrong during the start of his run. It is going to take a very amazing performance by Jin Kiyora if he plans on making it past the NEL. It would be a waste if he ended up just playing one match and not making it into the BL ranking despite being hyped up from the start. In the case that Jin Kiyora does end up supporting Kaiser, I see Jin Kiyora playing very well while Kaiser also ends up having a really good game. I don't really see Isagi beating both Kaiser and Itoshi Rin in the same game, especially when Isagi still has some ways to go. So I think that by the end of the game, it would be a battle between Isagi and Kaiser, but Kaiser bounces back and takes the throne back as the king of Bastard München. This way, Bastard München wins, and Isagi still has someone to dethrone during the U20 World Cup, assuming that there is one. However, there is still a possibility that Isagi actually ends up beating Rin and Kaiser if he ends up continuing to develop as fast as he is right now. I just think that it would be a waste of a character as well if Kaiser ended up losing to Isagi in just one arc. So, Kiyora might end up popping off and help Kaiser get back on his feet. If Kiyora does end up securing a spot in the leaderboard, that would mean some characters that we know are not making it into the next phase. Do you think that Kiyora Jin will end up becoming an asset for Kaiser alongside Ness? Would this allow Kaiser to dethrone Isagi once again as the king of Bastard München? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have other what if ideas that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments. Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Itoshi Rin joined Team Z? Check this video out right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thank you for watching.